The purpose of my speech is to persuade the audience to stop smoking and the dangers of secondhand smoke. My first thing to do was based on the Monroe's motivative sequence, and the first one is the attention step. And I started with, have you ever just sat back and thought about what smoking would have on the future generations? Well, according to this study of teen smokers, young men who smoke are more likely to develop, like, their sperm count is like real low, and they're more likely to develop sperm abnormalities and sperm mutations, which lead on to the kid, which they can have a birth defects and stuff like that. And the same thing goes with women as well. Women who smoke have a low fertility rate, and 40% of tobacco users and 80% of tobacco users 40% of tobacco users and 80% of most people have either smoke or they know people who smoke. So you should be aware. So they should be aware of you if you smoke, and the people who do. If you know people who smoke, you should also be aware of the side effects and the long-term effect of smoking. My next step is the need step, and in the United States, cigarette smoke is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. Approximately 430,000 people died last year caused from smoking, and that could have easily been prevented if you just didn't smoke. There's numerous chemicals in smoking. There's about 4,000 chemicals and about 400 toxic substances. Ammonia is one of them, and ammonia is it's like an addictive. That's what gets you addicted to it and hooked on smoking, and it absorbs into your body. Arsenic is another one, which is a deadly poison that makes your lips burn and gives you bad breath. Another one is benzene, which is a cancer-causing chemical used to make everything from pesticides to detergent to gasoline, and that's all in cigarettes. That's one of the toxic chemicals in cigarettes. Cadmium and lead are two more. Cadmium causes damage to the liver and kidneys and the brain, and lead poisoning stunts the growth, makes you vomit, and can damage your brain. My next step is satisfaction. One thing that satisfaction does is you basically do not fall into getting persuaded into smoking or chewing tobacco or anything like that. Teens are more likely to agree with a nationwide ban of all cigarette smoking and advertising and the selling of cigarettes than adults are, because more adults usually smoke than teens, and teens are more willing. You can persuade teens more than you can persuade adults to stop smoking. And basically the question would be, would banning cigarettes and their advertisements lead to an increased to prevent an increase on health problems, which basically it would, because if you don't have anybody smoking, then you don't have anybody dying of lung cancer and emphysema and chronic bronchitis and stuff like that. And another one is visual. My fourth step is visual, which is finding ways to decrease temptation. There's numerous ways you can do to help stop smoking, which is just get on the nicotine patches or chew gum, or you can start exercising or keep yourself busy doing numerous things around the house or whatever. Change your routine. Like if you're used to going down the same road, stop at the same gas station, buy cigarettes, don't do that, go a different route. And avoid people who do smoke, because then you'll be tempted to smoke if you're around people who do. And another step is action. If you're a non-smoker, you should never pick up a cigarette or want to pick up a cigarette, because it's a nasty habit they can get into. You would be putting your life at risk along with everybody else's life. Say no to tobacco, and if you're being persuaded, then walk away or say no. And try and tell other people about the risk of cigarette smoke. Another big thing would be secondhand smoke. Secondhand smoke is just as bad as if you're smoking a cigarette. There's two kinds of secondhand smoke: sidestream and mainstream. Mainstream being the worst, because basically mainstream is the smoke that the smoker is exhaling, so you're inhaling it. and it has the same amount of toxins and chemicals and everything else in that, if not worse. Secondhand smoke is normally called involuntary or passive, which you're not actually doing it, but it's involuntary because if you're around people who smoke, then you're going to be inhaling that. It is harmful in many ways. Like some of the ways is about 35,000 people die from heart disease from secondhand smoke, and about 3,400 people die from lung cancer due to secondhand smoke. Not as much as smoking as if you're smoking, but it's the same. It's basically the same thing. And you can have breathing. Most people who have secondhand smoke, they have breathing problems, and they notice that. And infants up to 18 months old are being hospitalized with breathing and lung infections. And that's about it. So if you want to smoke, hopefully I persuaded you not to smoke or start smoking. And if you do smoke, you should stop. And that's it. And this is my audience, my sister, my grandma, and my mom.